You know how every movie has that one sidekick who does not get enough credit? That's what the blouse is. The saree always takes away the entire spotlight. But more often than not, it is the blouse which has to do half the heavy lifting. Quite literally. But here's a fun fact. We didn't always have the blouse. During the Indus Valley era, there were no stitched garments. Everybody was draping, men, women, everyone, just clean pieces of unstitched fabric. They were comfortable, airy, and most importantly, sustainable. Particularly, a lot of people say that the British gave us the blouse, which is far from the truth. What they did give us was modesty panic. Early sculptures and terracotta figures show women wearing what looks like elaborate wraps or underdrapes. Some even hint at breastbands, something very similar to what the Greeks later called strophion. So technically, the concept of the blouse, covering and adorning one's torso, has existed since way before stitching even became mainstream. As tailoring came into the picture, so did more defined upper garments. During the Mauryan and Gupta periods is when you start seeing stitched blouses called Stanapatta or the choli, often paired with the antariya, which is the modern day equivalent of a petticoat. They were practical, usually made from cotton or muslin, but also very deeply aesthetic. Think short-sleeved, backless, and often detailed with heavy gold embroidery. In fact, ancient art from Ajanta and Ellora even show designs that won't look out of place at a modern fashion week. So no, colonizers didn't hand us the blouse, we already had it, we just called it something cooler. Because you see, nudity or minimal use of clothing is often associated with primitive or underdeveloped cultures. But the sari, the unstitched sari, was worn in a sophisticated urban environment and remained the preferred form of aristocratic dress throughout India's history. But when the British took over, Victorian officers and their wives were scandalized seeing Indian women draped in saris showing off their midriffs and shoulders, and they insisted on proper coverage. As a result, Indian women began wearing longer, high-neck blouses and petticoats. But of course, we had to add our own creativity to it. Take Jnanadanandini Devi for example, the sister-in-law of Rabindranath Tagore. She literally redefined the Bengali sari style, creating the Brahmika style, where she took the Victorian idea of a blouse or jacket and turned it into a symbol of elegance, not humiliation or silent oppression. Because back then, there was this unspoken rule in Bengal that you could only wear gowns or Western attire to elite English clubs. And this was her way of clapping back using their own fashion. And then we have Princess Indira Devi of Kapurthala, who was a big icon during World War II, also known as the Radio Princess following her broadcastings on the BBC. Her way of styling the sari using Parisian blouses and pearls became a global trend at the time. From there, the blouse became an open canvas, reimagined by every region and generation. South India had their classic short-sleeve cholis with heavy temple borders and embroidery. Maharashtra turned towards front-tight styles which were better suited for working in the farms, while Rajasthan and Gujarat added mirror work and more vibrant color palettes to the blouse. And in Bengal, the sleeve length and the neckline became an art form in itself. The 60s Bollywood wave though brought a complete vibe shift. Now there are soft shoulder blouses, Sharmila Tagore's butterfly knots and sleeveless cuts, Mumtaz with her crop tops and Rekha Ji with her silk and scooped neck blouses. Suddenly the blouse became a big trendsetter with more room for creativity than the sari itself. By the 80s and 90s we had Madhuri with her bareback blouses or Komalika with her vamp special and even corset style blouses. And now you have Priyanka and Deepika globalizing the Desi girl look. Like I said, blouse is fashion's most flexible canvas. But here's what a lot of people miss. The blouse has always been more than fabric and stitching. It's about expression. For a young bride, it is an heirloom, something that carries her mother's stitches. Literally in many cultures. For a working woman, it's armor, structured, composed, and powerful. And for artists and designers, it's storytelling, various cuts, different embroidery, and experimental silhouettes which narrate identity. Behind every beautiful blouse lies insane craftsmanship. Karigars who hand embroider motifs with precision, tailors who perfect the shoulder to bust ratio purely by instinct, and designers who blend heritage with innovation. In fact, some of the finest pieces come from small workshops and family-run units which are passed down through generations. The same hands which stitch for royalty once now stitch for the runways. Today, the blouse is no longer the supporting character. It's a statement. A crop top, a jacket, a backless wonder. Designers are blending in sustainability, tech fabrics, and even gender-fluid ideas into what used to be just a blouse. And that's what makes it special. It never stopped evolving. It's Indian in its roots, but global in appeal. It is traditional, yet very modern. So yeah, next time you admire a sari, take a second look at the blouse. That tiny piece of fabric has stitched together a millennia of design, rebellion, adaptation and pride, all while pretending to be the sidekick. If you have any thoughts about this video or you would like to share your own stories, feel free to comment down below and I will catch you up in the next video.